to work ourselves through this housing crisis.
Thank you. Any further comments? May a third reading, please.
Thank you. Moved by myself and seconded by Councillor McKenna that a bylaw to adopt terms of reference for the Housing Authority Committee be now read a third time and finally passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 10216-2021.
Thank you. Moved by Councillor Alford, seconded by Councillor McKenna, that a bylaw to adopt terms of reference for the Housing Advisory Committee be now read a third time and finally passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 10216-2021. All in favor? That's carried. Councillor Bennett, or Councillor Bennett, Deputy Clerk Bennett.
Sorry, I just wanted to let you know that it's been brought to our attention that the live feed has crashed. So our IT coordinator is trying to get that back up, and he will post this meeting. Any interruptions, he'll post again as soon as he's possibly can do so. But it needs to be clear that we have crashed. The system has crashed, so we aren't live right now. So Dave's going to try to get that back up and running, but I just want to make everyone aware.
Thank you. But fortunately, we are recording, so it will be available to the public after the meeting. Okay, thank you. Okay, back to our bylaws. Councillor McGuire, you are up next.
Thank you, Your Worship. Moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Dwyer that a bylaw to authorize internal borrowing respecting the LED street lighting project be received and read the first time and taken as read a second time.
Thank you. Moved by Councillor McGuire, seconded by Councillor Dwyer, that a bylaw to authorize internal borrowing respecting the LED street lighting project be received and read a first time and taken through a second time. All in favor? Carried. Discussion, Councillor McGuire?
Yes, so you may have noticed Smith Falls is a brighter place these days with our new street lights. They've got great coverage and it gives off a really nice warm color of light. Not only that, we're really reducing our light pollution, which you might notice when you're driving into town now, and we're saving a ton of money on energy. So this project has a payback time of 5.25 years. It's saving $103,000 a year approximately, which represents a 63% reduction. We've got money that we can use in our building services fund account. So instead of borrowing externally, we're going to borrow internally and pay ourselves an interest rate of 0.725%. So this is just another aspect of this great news story. I'd like to thank our treasurer, Janet Kozil, our director of public works and utilities, Director Troy Dunlop, and our engineer and technologist, Sabernicki, for all the work that's gone into this one.
Great, thank you. Any further comments? May I have a third reading, please?
Great. Moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Dwyer that a bylaw to authorize internal borrowing authorization respecting the LED street lighting project be now read a third time and finally passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 10217-2021.
Great, thank you. Moved by Councillor McGuire, seconded by Councillor Dwyer, the bylaw to authorize internal borrowing authorization respecting the LED street lighting project be now read a third time and finally passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 10217-2021. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Councillor Allen, you have the next bylaw.
Yes, bylaw to amend bylaw 725297, a bylaw to regulate and control parking of vehicles in the town of Smith Falls, bylaw 10218-2021. Recommended, moved by myself and seconded by Councillor McGuire, that a bylaw to amend bylaw 725297, being a bylaw to regulate and control parking of vehicles in the town of Smith Falls, be received and read a first time and taken as read a second time.
Thank you. Moved by Councillor Allen, seconded by Councillor McGuire, the bylaw to amend bylaw 7252-97, being a bylaw to regulate and control parking of vehicles in the town of Smith Falls, be received the first time and taken as read a second time. All in favor? Carried. Discussion, Councillor Allen?
Yes, I'm going to just share with people watching at home when they get a chance to. Some of the highlights were that definitions had to be updated to reflect the provincial standards. Meters are gone and will be no more. Reference parking dispensers as well. There'll be new language and signage throughout the downtown. All schedules will be reviewed and changed, updated. Market Street lot is going to have permit only now. There was a discussion also about winter parking. It will be done there, but permits will be sold and agreements will be made with those people. There's complimentary 2-hour parking within the Downtown Business Association boundary. And no person will park a vehicle within the same block for more than that. And so the discussion tonight talked about if you would wait 2 hours and you get a ticket, you could get another ticket if you were on another 2 hours. So we're hoping that it will just move the downtown street parking, and people will go and shop and then go home or go somewhere else and shop somewhere else. In the outer areas, there'll be 3-hour parking, and we're going to look at that. The winter regulations, the provisions for parking are now, and there will be set fines updated to reflect this new updated parking bylaw. And we're hoping that this is going to improve parking. The DVA has been chatted with and got their advice from Councillor Alford, and we thank her for that. And we as a council decided that we will come back after a year and just review this and see if there are things that need to be changed or updated. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further comments? No, maybe the third reading, please.
Yes, moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Maguire that a bylaw to amend bylaw 725297, being a bylaw to regulate and control parking of vehicles in the town of Smiths Falls, be now read a third time and finally passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 10218-2021.
Thank you. Moved by Councillor Allen, seconded by Councillor Maguire. The bylaw to amend bylaw 7252-97, being a bylaw to regulate and control parking of vehicles in the town of Smiths Falls, be now read a third time and finally passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 10218-2021. All in favor? That's carried. That's it for our bylaws. Councillor Dwyer, you have the first resolution.
By Councillor Maguire, that Council of the Corporation of the Smiths Falls authorize the mayor to issue a letter of support to accompany a funding application to the Universal Broadband Fund, UBF, by Bell to expand the fiber network in Smiths Falls.
Thank you. Discussion, Councillor Dwyer?
Thank you. Acknowledging that the majority of the town of Smiths Falls is fully serviced by fiber, I believe this application is actually to service the areas just outside the town of Smiths Falls. Fiber in our community generally is hugely important to supporting rural work from home and rural commerce within our communities. And regardless of the implication of this within our geographic boundary, there's an acknowledgement that expanding fiber anywhere within Eastern Ontario will bring economic prosperity to the town of Smiths Falls.
Thank you. And I believe there were 47 homes, maybe 45 homes, which have yet to have fiber to the door. So this will help that as well.
My apologies. Thank you.
That's fine. Thank you. Okay, moved by Councillor Dwyer, second by Councillor Maguire. The Council of the Corporation of Town of Smiths Falls authorized the mayor to issue a letter of support to accompany a funding application to the Universal Broadband Fund, in brackets UBF, by Bell to expand the fiber network in Smiths Falls. All in favor? That's carried. And our final motion is with Councillor Brennan.
Thank you. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Dwyer, whereas the Corporation of the Town of Smiths Falls supports Lanark County's motion number CC 2020-15 respecting the Leeds, Grenville, and Lanark District Health Unit and their continuous and tireless efforts to keep our community safe, healthy, and educated throughout the fight against COVID. And further, that Mayor Panko be authorized to send a letter of appreciation to Leeds, Grenville, and Lanark District Health Unit.
Thank you. Discussion, Councillor Brennan.
Well, we just discussed this and I read the letter, and I think that everyone's in agreement. I mean, that the letter itself has sort of three components. One is a recognition of the good work of Dr. Stewart and everyone at the health unit. The other one is a recognition of the frontline workers that have been keeping us going for the past year, and that includes not only paramedics, but people in retail, people at the grocery store. And finally, it emphasizes the necessity of continuing with the health measures that have been recommended, i.e. hand washing, social distance, masking, and that sort of thing. And to the point is to drown out the noise that is sometimes we hear. So you know, this is a no-brainer. That letter was written on February 2nd. We are on March 1st. And it still applies.
Great, thank you. Any further discussion? Okay, It's moved by Councillor Brennan, second by Councillor Dwyer. Whereas Council of the Corporation of Town of Smith Falls supports Lanark County's motion CC-2021-15 respecting the Leeds, Granville, and Lanark District Health Unit and their continuous and tireless efforts to keep our community safe, healthy, and educated through the fight against COVID-19. And the Mayor Panko be authorized to send a letter of appreciation to the Leeds, Granville, Lanark District Health Unit. All in favor? Great, that's carried. Thank you. Okay, so the inquiries and announcements. Thank Councillor McKenna. The floor is yours.
A little trivia, if I may, Your Worship. Europeans have been coming to the Smith Falls area for almost 200 years, and the town itself has been around for over 150 years. During that time, many of the neighborhoods and parts of town have had their own names. I'm going to read you a list of names, and you're going to tell me which neighborhood or part of town is one that I made up. The rest were all or are all part of the town of Smith Falls. So here are the names: Mathesonville, Adorado, Queensville, Elginville, Castleville, Chambers Swamp, Upper and Lower Town, Brooklyn, French Hill, and Shawville. Which one of those did I pull out of the air? The rest?
Chambers Swamp.
Chambers Swamp? No.
Shawville.
Councillor Dwyer?
Is it Brooklyn?
No. These can all be found on page 581 and 582 of Glenn Lockwood's History of Smith Falls. The name I made up is Queensville. The rest were all, and he's got a map showing where all of those little communities are in our town. So it's a lot of fun.
That's good. Yes, my father was one of those Sand Road Rangers when he was growing up. There was a dirt road gang or something where they had rivalries with other parts of town. So I guess those were the days.
My favorite is Chambers Swamp, but
Yeah.
and you
Where's
you can look on the
Brooklyn?
map. Well, I'd have to get the map out, Councillor Brennan.
I'll look it up.
Oh,
I'll look
Page
it up.
You've got the
581.
book, Jay.
Page
I got
581.
several of them.
Thank you.
Any other inquiries or announcements? Who's got trivia the next? Oh, Lorraine?
No, I just for council's edification, that we've done interviews last week, and we're doing more interviews for the CAO positions, the head librarian of our library. And so we're very optimistic that we're going to have someone in the next few weeks, and we'll come back and let you know who that person is.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. I'll take on the trivia for next week, because I've not taken it on for a while. Make sure I write that down. Anyway, motion for adjournment is with Councillor McGuire.
Your Worship, moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Brennan that this council adjourn its proceedings at 6:24 p.m. and stands so adjourned until the next duly called meeting of council.
Thank you. Moved by Councillor McGuire, seconded by Councillor Brennan. This council adjourns proceedings at 6:24 p.m. and stands so adjourned until the next duly called meeting of council. All in favor? Well done, everyone. We less than an hour and a half. We got cow and council done. Good stuff.
Nice.
Stay warm.